ChatGPT Joan Noy. She stumbled through the rain-soaked darkness, battered, bleeding, and barely alive. Dragging her bruised body forward step by agonizing step, she carried within her fading strength a precious secret. Hidden in her gentle grip was a worn collar, the key to exposing a cruel truth. With no name, no home, no chance, she collapsed on the doorstep of a quiet police station, placing her trust in humanity one final time. She didn't come searching for rescue. She came to offer one, a broken German shepherd, betrayed and left for dead, now choosing to believe in the compassion of strangers once more. What followed uncovered hidden darkness, sparked courage in weary hearts, and reminded an entire town what bravery truly meant. But make no mistake, this isn't merely a tale about a dog. It's about redemption, sacrifice, and the extraordinary power of trusting again, even when hope seems lost. Before we begin, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and ring the notification bell because the next story just might change your day, or even your life. Silver Hollow was unusually cold that night. Nestled among North Carolina's Blue Ridge Mountains, the town was known for its serene landscape, dense woods, and mountain air that typically carried a comforting crispness. But tonight was different. Clouds gathered thick and dark, heavy with rain, yet reluctant to release their burden. The air was tense, as if the night itself anticipated something significant was about to unfold. Emma Cassidy drove slowly along Main Street, her police cruiser's headlights casting pools of pale illumination onto deserted sidewalks. Emma was a woman of quiet strength, slender yet muscular from years of rigorous training and nightly patrols. At 31, she carried herself with a confidence tempered by the shadows of a past tragedy, the death of her younger brother Ryan in a car accident for which she'd unjustly blamed herself. With short, chestnut brown hair cut neatly just above her shoulders and piercing gray eyes that missed nothing, Emma was known for her disciplined, composed demeanor. Yet beneath this calm exterior lay an unresolved grief she carefully guarded, even from herself. Tonight, the radio remained mostly silent, the town's stillness offering no incidents to report. The only sounds were the gentle hum of the cruiser's engine and occasional static from dispatch. As Emma passed Cassidy's Antiques, her uncle's old store now permanently closed, her mind briefly wandered to happier days of childhood, when life felt simpler and nights less daunting. Suddenly, a faint, desperate whimper sliced through her memories, snapping her instantly back into focus. She pulled the cruiser to a stop near a narrow alleyway wedged between the old antique shop and an abandoned bakery, stepping out into the chill. The breeze tugged at her dark uniform jacket, sending a shiver down her spine. Emma shone her flashlight cautiously into the darkness, the beam quivering slightly. Her fingers tightened instinctively around the handle of the light as the quiet whimpers intensified into clear cries of pain. "Hello?" Emma called gently, stepping further into the shadows. Her heart quickened as the beam finally revealed the source, a large dog, collapsed beside a rusted dumpster. She approached carefully, lowering her flashlight slightly to avoid alarming the injured animal further. The dog was a German shepherd, painfully thin, his fur matted and streaked with dirt and dried blood. His ribs stood out sharply beneath the skin, indicating prolonged starvation. His right ear drooped unnaturally, indicating a past injury, while fresh wounds covered his trembling body. As she knelt slowly beside him, the dog weakly lifted his head, revealing deep amber eyes filled not with fear, but a surprising calm, even trust. Emma spoke softly, her voice soothing and steady. "It's okay, boy. I'm here to help you." Her gentle tone seemed to reassure him. His labored breathing calmed slightly as he watched her every move carefully. As Emma moved closer, examining the dog's injuries, she quickly realized these were not the marks of an accidental injury but clear evidence of intentional cruelty. A wave of anger surged through her, but she quickly regained her composure. There would be time for justice later. Right now, the dog needed immediate care. Carefully, Emma slipped her arms beneath the trembling animal, lifting him with practiced ease. The shepherd was lighter than expected, his weak frame trembling against her chest. Emma gently laid him on a soft blanket she kept in the back seat of her cruiser for emergencies, feeling his body tense, then gradually relax beneath her careful touch. She glanced back briefly at the dark alley, determination hardening her expression. Whoever had done this wouldn't escape justice forever. Back at her modest home, a cozy bungalow near the edge of Silver Hollow overlooking thick pines, Emma placed the dog gently onto a large, cushioned mat near the fireplace. The warmth seemed to ease his pain immediately. Emma quickly gathered antiseptics, bandages, and clean water, her hands moving with calm precision. As she cleaned his wounds carefully, the dog watched silently, never once protesting despite evident discomfort. His calm resilience touched Emma deeply, stirring memories of her brother's gentle patience during challenging moments. "I guess we'll need a name for you," Emma said softly, brushing fur gently away from his wounds. As she examined him more thoroughly, she noticed scars beneath the fur, old marks of healed injuries. More intriguingly, the way the dog remained perfectly still under her ministrations, responding subtly but clearly to simple commands like stay or roll, indicated training, highly specialized training at that. He was clearly no ordinary stray. "Tucker," Emma whispered finally, a faint smile softening her features. "It suits you, strong and resilient." Tucker sighed quietly, as if accepting the name wholeheartedly, his eyes closing slowly in exhaustion. As Emma finished treating him, she sat back against the sofa, watching him thoughtfully. Questions swirled through her mind. Who would do something like this? And why was Tucker targeted? And more urgently, what kind of past did he hold that had led him here? A sudden gust of wind rattled the windows, and rain finally began to tap rhythmically against the glass. Emma stood slowly, stoking the fire higher before retreating briefly to her kitchen to prepare coffee. The aroma filled the small home, wrapping around Emma like a comforting embrace. She returned with a steaming mug, sitting cross-legged beside Tucker, who now slept peacefully, his breathing slow and even. As Emma sipped her coffee, her gaze shifted from the sleeping dog to a framed photograph on the mantelpiece, her younger brother Ryan, forever smiling at 16. A pang of familiar grief tightened her throat. His death had driven her into law enforcement, a vow to protect others, something she felt she'd failed to do for him. Now, gazing at Tucker, she felt another vow forming, strong and unyielding. She wouldn't fail again, not this time. Outside, the rain intensified, washing over Silver Hollow, cleansing it for the night ahead. Emma settled back, determined yet wary of the uncertainty ahead. Tucker shifted slightly, one paw stretching forward gently until it brushed Emma's leg. She smiled faintly, her heart unexpectedly warmed by this small gesture of trust. Neither knew it yet, but tonight was just the beginning. Tucker's quiet courage and Emma's unspoken promise would soon bring to light secrets long hidden in Silver Hollow, challenging them both in ways they'd never imagined. For now, however, there was only the comforting crackle of the fire, the rhythmic patter of rain, and a newfound bond slowly forming amidst the shadows. The morning after rescuing Tucker, Emma Cassidy woke early to the soft golden glow spilling through her kitchen window. The storm had passed, leaving Silver Hollow wrapped in a serene quietness, but Emma couldn't shake the uneasy feeling that lingered. She brewed strong coffee, sipping it slowly as she watched Tucker resting by the fireplace. He was awake now, calmly observing her with those intelligent amber eyes that seemed to hold secrets she desperately wished to uncover. Overnight, Tucker's presence had already begun filling the empty spaces within her home, and perhaps within her heart. Emma reached instinctively toward the stack of mail she'd ignored the day before. Among advertisements and utility bills was a flyer, another missing pet, a calico cat named Rosie. It was the 5th such notice she'd seen this month, an unusual frequency for their quiet mountain town. Her eyes narrowed thoughtfully, her investigative instincts ignited. Perhaps Tucker's story was more connected to these disappearances than she realized. After dressing quickly, she decided to make her first stop at the local animal shelter, hoping to find some clue about Tucker's origins. As she stepped onto her porch, Tucker followed without hesitation, moving carefully but steadily despite his injuries. Emma smiled faintly. "You're stubborn, aren't you?" Tucker cocked his head, ears alert, responding with a gentle wag of his tail. The Silver Hollow Animal Shelter was nestled near the edge of town, a modest building with pale blue siding and neat white shutters. Inside, the receptionist, a young woman named Jessie Hart, sat typing at an outdated computer. Jessie was petite, around 25, with short blonde curls, large blue eyes, and freckles scattered generously across her cheeks. Her cheerful demeanor was contagious despite spending long hours handling paperwork and comforting abandoned animals. "Morning, Officer Cassidy," Jessie greeted brightly. Then her eyes landed on Tucker, and her expression softened with immediate concern. "Who's this poor guy?" "Found him last night, badly hurt." Thought he might have come through here at some point, Emma replied, explaining briefly Tucker's condition when she discovered him. Jessie shook her head sadly. I've never seen him before. Poor baby. But if he's trained as you say, he definitely wasn't just a stray. Jessie hesitated, then leaned closer, lowering her voice. And honestly, officer, something strange is happening lately. Pets keep disappearing: cats, dogs, even a rabbit. Way more than usual. Everyone's worried. Emma frowned slightly, concern tightening her expression. I noticed. Has anyone suspicious been by here recently? Not openly suspicious, Jessie admitted. But there's a man who's come by twice asking specifically about larger breed dogs, especially shepherds. Said his name was Vincent Drake from Asheville, mid-30s maybe. Always wearing dark clothes, quiet type, very observant. Just gave me a weird vibe. Emma noted the name carefully. Her thoughts were interrupted by Tucker, who suddenly moved restlessly toward the shelter's back exit. Emma and Jessie exchanged puzzled glances, following the dog quickly outside. Behind the shelter was a narrow wooded path, dense with underbrush and shadows cast by towering trees. Tucker's nose was low to the ground, ears forward, body tense and alert, every muscle clearly tuned to something Emma couldn't perceive. Jessie stood nervously behind Emma, whispering, "What's he doing?" "He's found something," Emma murmured, carefully following Tucker deeper into the woods. Tucker stopped suddenly, pawing urgently at the ground beneath a thick layer of fallen leaves. Emma knelt beside him, brushing leaves and soil away until her fingers uncovered a battered leather collar. It was frayed, blood-stained, and partially shredded, clearly torn from an animal forcibly. Jessie gasped softly behind her. Emma turned the collar carefully in her hand, her jaw set with quiet determination. This was more than coincidence. Something sinister was indeed brewing in Silver Hollow. Later that afternoon, Emma returned to the station, Tucker at her side. Her thoughts were racing. She made her way to the records room, hoping to find more about Vincent Drake. Her search yielded little. Drake had a minor record involving misdemeanors and suspicious activity, but nothing substantial. Frustrated, Emma glanced down at Tucker, noticing his intense gaze fixed upon the station's front door. Moments later, the door swung open, admitting a tall, slender woman whose authoritative presence instantly filled the room. Mayor Abigail Foster, a respected figure in Silver Hollow, carried herself with unwavering confidence. In her early 50s, Abigail had sharp, angular features, silver-streaked brown hair always neatly arranged, and eyes that missed nothing. Her practical suits and polished appearance often masked a genuine compassion beneath a firm exterior. "Emma?" Abigail greeted with a courteous nod, her eyes briefly flickering toward Tucker. "I heard you found yourself a new partner." Emma offered a respectful smile. "Yes, Mayor. He's proven helpful already." Abigail sighed slightly, the smallest crack appearing in her otherwise composed demeanor. "Good. We need all the help we can get right now. People are scared, pets missing, odd sightings around town at night. Please, solve this quickly." Her tone was firm but betrayed subtle anxiety. Emma nodded confidently. "I'm working on it." Later, as dusk fell gently upon Silver Hollow, Emma decided to patrol the outskirts of town again, hoping Tucker's instincts would lead them further. They moved quietly along dimly lit streets, shadows lengthening with the sinking sun. Tucker abruptly froze, ears perking forward, body rigid with tension. Emma followed his intense gaze, her eyes narrowing in suspicion. In the distance, near an abandoned sawmill, stood a dark pickup truck idling quietly. Tucker's low growl confirmed her suspicion. Whoever was there, they weren't friendly. Silently signaling Tucker to stay close, Emma approached cautiously, remaining hidden within the tree line. Two figures stepped from the truck. Even in fading daylight, Emma recognized Vincent Drake immediately from Jessie's description: dark clothing, observant eyes, movements deliberate yet cautious. The other individual was unfamiliar, taller, heavier set, roughly bearded, wearing a faded baseball cap. They exchanged hushed words, unloading crates that seemed to shift slightly as they moved alive. Tucker tensed at Emma's side, barely containing a quiet growl. Emma's pulse quickened. This was clearly connected to the missing animals. She silently recorded the license plate number, noting everything carefully. Approaching directly now would risk losing evidence or putting Tucker in danger again. She knew she had to bide her time and investigate discreetly. She pulled gently at Tucker's collar, whispering softly, "Not yet, boy. We'll get them. I promise." Tucker obediently stepped back, eyes still focused on Drake, unwilling to abandon vigilance. Returning home that night, Emma couldn't shake a lingering unease. The discovery at the shelter, the collar in the woods, Vincent Drake's suspicious behavior, all pieces of a troubling puzzle. Tucker lay beside her, alert and protective, now clearly bound to Emma by mutual trust and an unspoken promise of loyalty. Silver Hollow slept fitfully beneath a calm sky, unaware of the danger lurking just beyond its borders. But Emma, awake and determined, knew better. She would uncover the truth behind Tucker's suffering and the sinister events haunting their town, and nothing would stand in her way. The morning mist hung thickly over Silver Hollow, wrapping the mountain town in a ghostly embrace that blurred the edges of reality. Emma Cassidy stood on her porch, breathing deeply, the cool air sharpening her senses. Tucker sat silently beside her, his alert amber eyes carefully scanning the tree line, sensitive ears twitching with every distant sound. Emma's restless sleep had left dark circles beneath her eyes, evidence of her growing concern about the sinister activities she'd uncovered. But today promised new answers. Today, she would confront a past she had long buried. A familiar rumble echoed through the foggy stillness as a faded red pickup truck rolled down the gravel driveway toward her house. Emma felt her muscles tense instinctively. As the door opened, out stepped Mitch Garner, a man she'd known all too well in another lifetime. Mitch was tall and lean, with rugged features that had hardened considerably over the years. His dark brown hair was tousled, silver flecks now evident along his temples, framing a face weathered by hardship. A thick scar ran down his left cheek, a stark reminder of a violent past he tried unsuccessfully to conceal beneath a short, rough beard. Mitch carried himself with a wary confidence, but Emma noticed a shadow behind his hazel eyes, a bitterness that hadn't been there when they were younger. "Emma," Mitch greeted tersely, his voice carrying an edge of tension, eyes drifting briefly to Tucker. "Been a long time." "Not long enough," Emma replied carefully, maintaining a calm composure despite the storm of emotions raging inside her. Mitch had been Ryan's closest friend, practically family until the accident. Emma had always blamed Mitch partially for Ryan's death, and their friendship had shattered irreparably since. "Look," Mitch began hesitantly, shifting his weight uneasily. "I heard about what's happening around town, animals disappearing and all. Thought you might need help. Figured I owe Ryan that much." Emma's jaw tightened, but she nodded slowly, accepting his reluctant offer. Any lingering anger paled compared to the urgency of solving this crisis. "Fine," she said simply. "But no secrets, Mitch." Mitch nodded, glancing again at Tucker, whose calm yet suspicious stare remained locked on him. Tucker's demeanor suggested a hidden awareness, making Emma more convinced than ever that this dog was no ordinary stray. Together, they headed toward Silver Hollow's oldest resident, Arthur Jenkins. Arthur was nearly 70, slender and stooped, with snowy white hair peeking beneath a worn wool cap. He lived in an isolated cabin on the outskirts of town, surrounded by towering pines and shadowed pathways. Known as a reclusive yet sharp-witted individual, Arthur held knowledge about everything happening in Silver Hollow, and Emma believed he might have valuable insight. Arthur met them on his porch, squinting through thick glasses, his blue eyes sparkling with a lively intelligence despite his age. "Emma Cassidy," he greeted warmly, offering a firm handshake. "Been years since you've visited." Arthur nodded toward Mitch, recognition evident but less enthusiastic, clearly recalling the turbulent friendship between Mitch and the Cassidys. Inside Arthur's cozy home, cluttered shelves were filled with decades of books and memorabilia. The faint scent of tobacco lingered in the air as they sat at his worn oak table. Arthur sighed heavily as Emma explained recent events, his face clouding with concern. "Reminds me of something happened 20 years back," Arthur began quietly, leaning forward. "Dogs disappearing same way. Trained animals, especially shepherds, stolen and sold underground. Thought it ended when they arrested Joseph Drake." Emma's heart skipped at the name. "Joseph Drake? Related to Vincent Drake?" Arthur nodded gravely. "His father ran an illegal breeding operation, selling trained dogs for fighting, smuggling, cruel stuff. Joseph died in prison. Guess his son's taken over." Emma exchanged troubled glances with Mitch, realizing the magnitude of their situation. "Any idea where Vincent operates now?" Arthur hesitated, then shook his head slowly. "Not certain, but I'd check the old lumber mill property, deep in the woods near Raven's Point. That place always attracted trouble." They thanked Arthur, leaving quickly, urgency driving Emma's every step. Tucker trotted determinedly beside her, ears constantly alert, nose low to the ground, clearly sensing the intensity of their mission. Mitch drove them toward Raven's Point. During the ride, silence filled the truck, heavy with unresolved emotions and bitter memories. Emma finally broke it quietly. "Did you ever forgive yourself for what happened to Ryan?" Mitch's grip on the steering wheel tightened visibly. Knuckles white, voice tight. "Number never did. Never could." Emma sighed softly. "Neither could I. Maybe it's time we both try." Before Mitch could respond, Tucker's sudden bark shattered the fragile silence. Mitch stopped the truck abruptly, and they moved cautiously toward a hidden dirt road, partially obscured by dense undergrowth. They followed Tucker deeper into the woods, silent, watchful, and alert. Soon, the dilapidated lumber mill appeared through the trees, crumbling wooden buildings looming ominously beneath a heavy gray sky. Voices echoed faintly, harsh and angry. Hidden by thick shrubs, Emma and Mitch observed three men loading frightened animals into unmarked vans. At their center was Vincent Drake himself, expression coolly detached, dark eyes ruthless beneath a dark woolen cap. Emma raised her phone to discreetly record evidence, heart pounding fiercely in her chest. But Mitch unexpectedly rose, stepping recklessly into view, voice dangerously controlled. "Vincent Drake, your father ruined lives here once. You won't do the same." Emma gasped, horror flooding her as Vincent calmly turned, gun glinting coldly in his hand. Tucker reacted instantly, lunging protectively forward, teeth bared. The men froze, guns raised, tension palpable. "Call your dog back, Officer Cassidy," Vincent drawled, cold amusement twisting his mouth. "Or Mitch joins his old friend Ryan." Emma's mind raced, heart torn. But before she could respond, the distant sound of approaching vehicles filled the air. Sirens wailed, and Vincent's face twisted in frustrated anger. "This isn't over!" he snarled, signaling his men to retreat hastily into the woods. Deputy Liam Harper emerged swiftly from his cruiser, gun drawn protectively. Liam was young, around 26, with sandy blonde hair, kind green eyes, earnest but inexperienced. His uniform was always impeccably tidy, despite constant teasing from fellow officers about his obsessive neatness. "You all right, Emma?" Liam called urgently. Emma exhaled shakily, nodding. Tucker stood protectively beside her, hackles still raised, eyes following Vincent's disappearing figure. Mitch staggered slightly, shaken by his reckless confrontation, finally acknowledging his impulsiveness. "You almost got yourself killed," Emma whispered angrily to Mitch, fighting tears. Mitch's expression softened painfully, remorse evident. "I couldn't stand by anymore, Emma. Not this time." Emma nodded slowly, realizing the complexity of their shared grief. Together, they stood silently, watching as Liam directed deputies to secure the scene, rescuing the animals left behind. Emma knew their fight wasn't over. Vincent Drake would return more dangerous and prepared. But now she had Mitch's help, and Tucker's unwavering courage. She wouldn't face the past alone again. Silver Hollow depended on them, and they wouldn't fail. Evening fell over Silver Hollow with a heavy sense of foreboding, clouds clustering thickly overhead, obscuring the moon and stars. The autumn air was cold and damp, whispering unease through bare branches of trees that lined Emma Cassidy's street. Inside her modest home, Emma sat quietly at the kitchen table, clutching a lukewarm cup of tea, her thoughts consumed by the dangerous encounter at Raven's Point. Tucker lay curled near her feet, alert and protective, his intelligent amber eyes fixed loyally upon her face. Despite his physical injuries beginning to heal, emotional scars remained vivid, mirrored painfully in Emma's own heart. The sound of a knock at the door startled her, breaking the oppressive silence. Tucker instantly rose, his hackles raised, a low growl rumbling softly through his throat. Emma cautiously approached the door, heart racing as she opened it slightly. Standing on the doorstep was Mitch Garner, his posture rigid, his face shadowed in the dim porch light. Emma's instincts screamed danger, but she remained calm, forcing composure into her voice. "Mitch, it's late. What do you want?" Mitch's eyes were dark with hidden emotion, his voice deceptively soft. "Just to talk, Emma, to settle old wounds before things get worse." Reluctantly, she stepped aside, allowing him entrance, her pulse quickening at Tucker's obvious tension. Mitch entered, glancing warily at the vigilant dog. "Quite the protector you've got there," he muttered, half admiring, half resentful. Inside, Mitch's demeanor shifted subtly. He paced restlessly, eyes darting around the familiar surroundings, tension radiating from him. Emma studied him carefully, noting the sweat beading his forehead despite the chilly night. Mitch turned abruptly, voice tight with suppressed emotion. "You never forgave me for Ryan's death? Do you still blame me?" Emma felt a pang of sadness, yet steeled herself, meeting his gaze evenly. "For years, yes, I blamed you. But we both lost someone we loved. Ryan's death wasn't solely your fault, Mitch." Mitch's eyes narrowed dangerously, bitterness filling his expression. "Yet, I carried that guilt every day, Emma. Every damn day." He stepped closer, voice lowering dangerously. "You always thought you were better, stronger, but you never knew what I went through." Emma frowned, sensing the subtle shift in his tone, a hidden menace beneath the words. Her instincts warned her, heart quickening. Mitch continued harshly, bitterness consuming his voice. "Ryan would still be here if it wasn't for you. You were supposed to be there, remember? You canceled, left him alone with me." The words cut deeply, ripping open wounds Emma had desperately tried to heal. Tears stung her eyes, but she refused to break, standing firm despite the emotional onslaught. Tucker growled louder, sensing her distress, hackles bristling fiercely. "Mitch, enough!" Emma said sharply, fighting the trembling in her voice. Mitch shook his head slowly, a cruel smile forming. "No, Emma, you owe me. And if you think your precious town or this mangy dog can protect you, think again." With shocking suddenness, Mitch lunged forward, grabbing Emma's arm roughly, his grip bruisingly tight. Emma fought instinctively, struggling against him, her training momentarily forgotten beneath overwhelming panic. Tucker reacted instantly, launching himself at Mitch with fierce loyalty, teeth sinking into his arm with savage strength. Mitch shouted in pain, releasing Emma abruptly, staggering backward, eyes wide with shock and fury. Tucker stood protectively before Emma, poised and fearless, snarling menacingly at Mitch, his unwavering bravery evident. Mitch retreated slowly, blood seeping from his wounded arm, rage contorting his features dangerously. "You'll regret this," he spat, venom dripping from every word. "Both of you, I promise." He bolted through the front door into the darkness, leaving behind a chilling echo of his threat. Emma sank to the floor, breathing raggedly, heart hammering violently in her chest. Tucker approached gently, nuzzling her with quiet reassurance, his warmth anchoring her amidst the storm of emotions. Gradually, her breathing steadied, tears slipping silently down her cheeks as she embraced Tucker tightly, grateful beyond words for his courage and loyalty. Later, after composing herself, Emma carefully secured the house, her hands still trembling. She contacted Deputy Liam Harper, explaining the incident briefly, requesting increased patrols around her home. Liam's reassuring tone calmed her nerves, his young but earnest voice promising swift protection. Shortly after, headlights flooded her driveway, heralding the arrival of Officer Kara Mitchell, sent by Liam to offer immediate reassurance. Kara was in her early 30s, athletic with short auburn hair, framing a face that exuded confidence and compassion. Her steady green eyes and composed manner had always provided comfort during difficult moments. She checked Emma's home carefully, reassuring her repeatedly that she would remain nearby through the night. Kara gently patted Tucker, smiling warmly. "He's an incredible dog. You're both lucky to have each other." Emma nodded gratefully, exhaustion seeping deeply into her bones. Later that evening, unable to sleep, Emma sat quietly beside Tucker, stroking his fur soothingly. She realized that her attachment to Tucker had become more profound, bound by shared trauma and unwavering trust. Mitch's accusation about Ryan lingered painfully in her mind, but in that moment, clarity blossomed unexpectedly within her heart. She understood fully now. Her guilt, her pain, her blame toward Mitch had never brought peace, only prolonged her suffering. Tucker's bravery, loyalty, and unconditional trust had taught her the strength of forgiveness, not just toward Mitch, but herself as well. She whispered softly into the silence, "Thank you, Tucker. You saved more than my life tonight. You saved me from myself." Tucker responded gently, his calm eyes meeting hers, tail thumping softly against the floor. Emma felt a weight lifting, understanding deeply that saving Tucker meant finally freeing herself from the painful shadows of the past. She vowed silently to protect Tucker at all costs, embracing the courage needed to confront Mitch and end the dangerous turmoil gripping Silver Hollow. Outside, the clouds finally dispersed, unveiling the moon's gentle glow, bathing the town in serene illumination. Though danger remained hidden within darkness, tonight Emma found strength renewed, ready to face whatever came next, no longer burdened by guilt, but empowered by forgiveness and resilience, anchored securely by Tucker's quiet yet profound bravery. Silver Hollow awoke under gloomy skies, clouds heavy and threatening another storm. Rain had battered the small mountain town overnight, leaving streets shimmering and trees dripping solemnly onto sodden earth. Emma Cassidy was already awake, seated in her cramped office at the Silver Hollow police station. The soft hum of computers and muted chatter filled the background as she reviewed surveillance footage meticulously. Beside her, Tucker lay quietly but attentively, his amber eyes constantly alert. Ever since their confrontation with Mitch Garner, Emma had kept Tucker close, aware that Mitch's threat wasn't empty. Their bond, forged by adversity, had strengthened deeply. Trust no longer questioned, loyalty unwavering. Emma leaned back, rubbing her tired eyes. The footage yielded little clarity, and she felt frustration creeping in. Suddenly, a hesitant knock came at her open door, drawing her attention to young Deputy Liam Harper. Liam stood nervously in the doorway, his sandy blonde hair slightly mussed, earnest green eyes wide and apologetic. He cleared his throat anxiously, clearly uncomfortable disturbing her. "Emma, there's someone here you should speak with urgently," Liam stammered softly. "Says he has crucial information about Mitch's operation." Emma nodded sharply, rising swiftly from her chair, heart pounding with anticipation. She followed Liam into the station's small, fluorescent-lit conference room, Tucker padding faithfully beside her. Awaiting them was Lucas Miller, a local mechanic known for his quiet demeanor and solid integrity. Lucas was in his early 40s, broad-shouldered and rugged, his face etched with lines of years spent laboring over vehicles. His dark hair flecked with gray was neatly combed, and despite his typically reserved nature, his hazel eyes revealed genuine concern. "Officer Cassidy," Lucas greeted solemnly, voice quiet yet resolute. "I wouldn't normally interfere, but this has gone far enough. My son Danny overheard Mitch and his men discussing their next move while working late at the auto shop yesterday." Emma's breath quickened, excitement and apprehension mingling. What exactly did Danny hear? Lucas hesitated briefly, then continued firmly. "They mentioned transporting a large group of dogs, expensive breeds, tonight. They're meeting buyers at the old train depot, out near Mill Creek. Mitch specifically mentioned you and Tucker. He's ready for you." Emma's pulse raced, eyes narrowing with determination. "Thanks, Lucas. You and Danny have helped immensely. Keep Danny safe. Stay vigilant." Lucas nodded gravely, exiting swiftly. Emma turned urgently to Liam, instructing him quietly. "Inform Officer Mitchell and organize backup discreetly. We can't risk alerting Mitch prematurely." Emma left quickly, Tucker trotting determinedly at her heels. She knew their next step carried immense danger, yet they had no choice but to act swiftly. Outside, she found Officer Kara Mitchell already waiting, her auburn hair neatly pulled back, eyes steady and serious. Kara's dependable presence provided Emma reassurance amidst uncertainty. "Ready?" Kara asked succinctly, her voice calm and focused. "Ready," Emma affirmed, determination hardening her tone. The old Mill Creek depot was isolated, concealed by dense woods and neglected roads rarely traveled. Emma and Kara parked far away, advancing cautiously through tangled underbrush, darkness deepening as evening descended prematurely beneath stormy skies. Tucker moved silently ahead, senses sharp, guiding them carefully toward hidden danger. Approaching the depot's edge, Emma glimpsed figures moving suspiciously near several vans, crates stacked ominously nearby. Mitch Garner stood at the forefront, movements purposeful, authoritative despite bandages wrapping the arm Tucker had injured earlier. Mitch's dark expression promised ruthless determination, vengeance fueling every action. Emma signaled Kara, both women carefully flanking opposite sides to encircle the area strategically. Suddenly, Tucker froze, body rigid, Ears perked intensely. Emma sensed immediate danger, dropping instantly to a crouch. A shot rang loudly, narrowly missing her head, splintering a nearby tree trunk. Chaos erupted as Mitch shouted commands harshly. "Take down that dog first!" Mitch ordered furiously, eyes wild with hatred. Tucker darted protectively between Emma and danger, dodging further gunfire with astonishing agility. Emma's heart hammered desperately, fear for Tucker overshadowing her own safety. Backup arrived swiftly, Liam leading reinforcements expertly, his young face focused intently, coordinating deputies into effective positions. Gunfire echoed sharply through night air as Mitch's men fired recklessly. Amidst turmoil, Emma saw Mitch aiming directly at Tucker, face contorted with rage. Instinctively, Emma lunged forward, shouting desperately to distract him. "Mitch! It ends here." Momentarily distracted, Mitch turned sharply toward her, eyes cold and unforgiving. "Yes, Emma, it ends, but not for me." Mitch aimed decisively, finger tightening slowly on the trigger. Tucker surged forward instantly, powerful and unwavering, knocking Mitch violently off balance, forcing the shot astray. Mitch collapsed briefly, scrambling quickly back upright, desperation fueling his escape into shadowy woods nearby. Emma, shaken but determined, immediately checked Tucker carefully, relieved to find him unharmed despite the confrontation. Meanwhile, deputies swiftly secured remaining suspects and crates filled with frightened animals. Kara approached Emma breathlessly, eyes wide with relief. "We recovered every animal safely, Emma. Mitch escaped, but we'll find him." Emma nodded slowly, heart calming gradually, emotions mixed, relief, disappointment, yet profound pride in Tucker's courage and selfless bravery. Liam approached cautiously, concern evident on his youthful features. "Are you okay, Emma?" Emma smiled faintly, grateful for his steady presence. "Thanks to Tucker. He saved us again." Returning home later that night, Emma gently tended Tucker's minor scrapes, admiration shining warmly in her eyes. Tucker's steadfast gaze met hers calmly, silent reassurance passing clearly between them. Together, they'd faced unimaginable darkness and emerged resilient, bonded irrevocably through shared bravery and unwavering trust. Rain finally arrived overnight, cleansing Silver Hollow gently beneath soft whispers of water against window panes. Emma drifted quietly into restless sleep, dreams finally free from haunting shadows, replaced by reassuring visions of a brighter future.
Darkness engulfed Pisgah Forest, the towering trees silhouetted against angry, storm-ridden skies. Wind howled fiercely, shaking branches as heavy raindrops pelted down, drenching the landscape in an unforgiving torrent. Emma Cassidy tightened her grip on Tucker's leash, her pulse hammering relentlessly. Tucker, soaked but undeterred, stayed resolutely beside her, amber eyes alert and fiercely protective. Each step deeper into the forest heightened Emma's anxiety, yet there was no turning back. Not tonight. Mitch Garner awaited, and this confrontation would end it all. The intelligence gathered from Lucas Miller and his son Danny led them here. Mitch had retreated to an isolated cabin deep within Pisgah's dense wilderness, desperate and dangerous. Deputy Liam Harper and Officer Kara Mitchell remained positioned strategically behind, readying backup while Emma and Tucker advanced cautiously. Mitch's threats echoed hauntingly in Emma's memory, fueling her determination and apprehension equally. Thunder rumbled ominously overhead as they reached the clearing where the cabin loomed darkly beneath dripping branches. A single, flickering lantern illuminated the porch, shadows dancing wildly, mimicking Emma's internal turmoil. Tucker paused suddenly, body tense and rigid. Emma instantly sensed danger. Mitch's voice sliced through the storm, cold and mocking from within shadows of the porch. "You never knew when to quit, Emma." Mitch emerged into view, drenched, his expression twisted by bitterness and rage. Behind him stood two men Emma recognized as Drake's associates, their stance aggressive, weapons clearly visible. Mitch raised a handgun steadily, his dark eyes devoid of mercy. "This could have ended differently, you know, but you chose the wrong side." Tucker's growl deepened protectively, stepping forward defiantly. Emma steadied herself, voice firm despite inner fear. "It's over, Mitch. Surrender peacefully." Mitch laughed cruelly, shaking his head slowly. "Oh, Emma, it's far from over. You've cost me too much." Without warning, Mitch fired directly toward Tucker, intent clear, removing Emma's loyal protector first. Instinctively, Tucker leaped, agile despite injuries, narrowly avoiding the fatal shot. Chaos erupted instantly, Mitch's accomplices advancing rapidly, weapons drawn. Emma fought desperately, adrenaline overriding fear, driven by the desperate need to protect Tucker. Thunder boomed violently above, lightning illuminating the harrowing scene in terrifying clarity. Tucker fought valiantly, protecting Emma despite worsening injuries. Amidst confusion, Emma glimpsed Mitch fleeing toward dense woods, determined to escape justice again. Torn between chasing Mitch and Tucker's urgent whimper, Emma's heart fractured painfully. She glanced helplessly between the disappearing Mitch and Tucker collapsed, panting heavily, blood mingling with rainwater pooling beneath him. In that crucial heartbeat, Emma chose. She rushed to Tucker's side, dropping to her knees in mud, desperately trying to stem bleeding wounds. "Tucker, stay with me," Emma pleaded brokenly, heartache piercing sharply. Behind them, Liam and Kara finally arrived, quickly subduing Mitch's men amidst frantic chaos. Emma scarcely noticed, fully absorbed in Tucker's precarious condition. Liam approached rapidly, breathless. "Emma, Mitch got away. Backup's chasing him, but the storm's making it difficult." Emma nodded numbly, tears mingling freely with rainwater on her face. "We need immediate veterinary assistance. Tucker's badly injured." Kara knelt beside Emma, her presence reassuring amidst turmoil. "We've already called Dr. Evelyn Carter. She's on her way." Minutes felt endless, each breath painfully uncertain until headlights finally illuminated the clearing. Dr. Evelyn Carter emerged swiftly, a woman in her late 50s, tall, slender, with short silver-streaked hair framing a kind, intelligent face. Renowned for compassion and steady hands, Evelyn's calm demeanor immediately provided hope. She assessed Tucker quickly, her voice steady yet urgent. "He's lost blood, but he's strong. We must get him stabilized immediately." Emma assisted, emotions swirling uncontrollably, guilt and fear consuming her. As Evelyn carefully lifted Tucker onto a stretcher, something fell from beneath Tucker's worn leather collar, landing softly in mud near Emma's trembling hand. Surprised, Emma retrieved it carefully, a battered USB drive concealed within a small hidden pouch Tucker had stubbornly protected since his rescue. Shocked, Emma turned it over gently, realization dawning clearly. Tucker had guarded this secret vigilantly, enduring pain to protect crucial evidence against Mitch. Emma rose quickly, handing Liam the USB. "Liam, take this immediately. It's crucial evidence against Mitch." Liam's eyes widened with understanding, nodding decisively as he raced away. At the veterinary clinic, Evelyn worked tirelessly, her experienced hands gentle yet efficient. Emma paced anxiously, desperate prayers silently whispered for Tucker's recovery. Kara remained steadfastly supportive nearby, quietly comforting. Hours stretched unbearably, tension suffocating until Evelyn finally emerged, exhaustion evident yet smiling warmly. "He's stable, Emma. Tucker's resilience is remarkable. He'll recover fully." Overwhelming relief flooded Emma, grateful tears streaming openly. Later, Liam arrived, reporting Mitch's swift capture, his voice triumphant yet sober. The USB contained everything: records, locations, identities. "Mitch won't evade justice this time." Emma breathed deeply, emotions colliding intensely. Tucker's unwavering bravery, his silent yet profound sacrifice had saved them all, exposing darkness concealed deeply beneath Silver Hollow's tranquility. Over subsequent weeks, Tucker recovered remarkably under Evelyn's careful supervision, regaining strength quickly. Emma visited daily, their bond deepening profoundly. She often spoke quietly, sharing memories, releasing lingering guilt about Ryan's death, understanding deeply her inability to control every outcome. Eventually, Emma embraced genuine forgiveness toward herself and Mitch, finally at peace with her past. Silver Hollow gradually healed beneath spring's gentle arrival, residents breathing easier, reassured by Mitch's imprisonment. Emma and Tucker became local heroes, celebrated warmly throughout town. Tucker's bravery symbolized hope, resilience amidst adversity. Mayor Abigail Foster personally honored them, gratitude evident in her authoritative yet compassionate presence. Months later, during Silver Hollow's annual festival, residents gathered joyfully, smiles plentiful, children laughing, music resonating warmly. Emma stood quietly beside Tucker, his coat shining vibrantly, amber eyes gentle yet vigilant, beloved companion forever loyal. Liam approached warmly, grinning brightly. "Look around, Emma. You two changed this town." Emma smiled softly, heart filled profoundly with gratitude, peace finally replacing grief. Tucker nudged affectionately against her, tail wagging gently. Emma Cassidy had found solace beyond darkness, courage beyond fear, all because a wounded dog entrusted her to protect something worth fighting for. Justice, forgiveness, love everlasting beneath Pisgah's towering trees, beneath skies now brightened irrevocably by courage proven amidst storms finally past. The story of Emma and Tucker reminds us gently of an important truth we often overlook, that courage doesn't mean having no fear, but choosing to act despite it. Tucker, a loyal dog, taught Emma, and perhaps all of us, that forgiveness can heal even the deepest wounds, and true bravery is found in standing up for what's right, no matter the cost. Maybe you've been holding on to something heavy in your heart, guilt, grief, or anger. Today could be your chance to let it go. Just like Emma found peace by forgiving herself and others, you too can choose forgiveness, kindness, and bravery in your own journey. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to share it with someone who might need a gentle reminder of hope. Leave a comment below with your thoughts, or simply type Amen if you believe that second chances and courage still matter. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more uplifting stories like this. May God bless you, your family, and everyone watching. Amen.